It's now my pleasure to introduce actually someone who is very inspirational as well in the field of future mobility. That's Dr. Jaiwon Shin, the CEO of Supernal, which is Hyundai's urban air mobility unit. Dr. Shin, please.
Thanks, John. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Great. You all wake up. I was amply warned that it's such a tough act to follow Mayor Suarez. And it's proven that I'll have to really double up my effort. But I'll do my best. It's great honor and super exciting to be here with you, actually. Share some future mobility and coming attraction. And what I'm about to share with you, you probably have heard from many other media outlets, and because advanced air mobility or urban air mobility has been really just amazingly popular topic around the world. So bear with me. If you don't hear anything new, it's not my fault. So media fringe has been there. So why all of a sudden is the world really focusing and just cheering about this advanced air mobility? It's because that electrification that's been happening all around us after digital transformation started back in 1970s and 80s. Now electrification is really happening in all industrial sectors, and aviation is not exception. So I said the revolution in aviation is coming, and I truly believe it is a revolution, not an incremental improvement or anything. That's because aviation has always revolutionized by propulsion system. So you remember back in 1950s, around there, when jet engine was introduced, that changed the whole aviation industry. And now we can travel to across the Pacific or Atlantic oceans, within a day. So that's just amazing feat, and safely. And a guy like me can afford flying overseas, right? So now, with all the batteries being developed, and that electrification for vertical takeoff and landing vehicle is within our grasp. The battery technology is still not quite there yet, and we still need to see more development there, but we're getting there. And autonomy is important because you have to reduce operating cost. And the pilot and the flight crew and all those people who you will see when you get on the airplane and flying you safely, typically that takes about 1/3 of total operating cost for operators. So if you can actually reduce that operating cost, that will be benefit for all of you by lowering the fare. And also the human factor, the accident caused by humans, unfortunately, that's about 70% of total fatal accidents. So if we actually take out, are there any pilots in this room? I don't know to offend you, but it's just the way it is, right? Automating systems and putting more artificial intelligence, and all these things will actually increase safety. So that's why it's getting a lot of interest. So that's kind of technical geek say that I'm an engineer, and I'm super excited to be living in this era that the aviation revolution is happening again after 60, 70 years. But what about you? Why should you be excited about advanced air mobility? It's because we are going to turn back the valuable commodity called time to your life. So you can use your time for whatever you wish to use, for your family, for yourself, with your friends, and more valuable things that you want to do. I think we all have experienced being stuck in a traffic jam for 1 hour, 2 hours. I live in Washington, D.C. To commute, I used to commute NASA headquarters in the district from Northern Virginia. That's 19 miles. So theoretically, I should be getting to the office within half an hour, right? It's typically 1 hour. If a person was doing some texting and all that and then got into an accident, I'm host. It could be hour and a half or 2 hours. But what if we can shorten that trip by 60, 70%, so you get there in 15 minutes or 10 minutes? Then all that time we're turning back to you. You can use that time for improving your quality of life. And it'll be affordable. So I call that as a democratization of flight. By designing this aircraft safe and affordable by volume, you don't have to pay $1,000 to charter a helicopter. Even today, you can charter a helicopter from Manhattan to JFK. It'll cost you about $1,500. So I cannot afford that. But this UAM, I think our goal is we all can afford that. And then more than anything else, it's zero carbon, not little bit reduction, but it's zero carbon emission. So all in all, this is some of the reasons why AAM is exciting for all of you. And why this will happen is because rapid urbanization. You think you hear a lot of these things. UN study predicts by 2050, which is, maybe to some of you it's far away, but it's going to come up pretty soon. By 2050, about 70% of global population will live in some sort of metropolitan area. In Miami, I'm sure it's not exception. In all the mega cities around the world, people are just flocking together to these metropolitan areas. So surface transportation has already hit the limit. And there's what's called latent demand. So it's invisible demand, but as soon as you put the new street or new highway, just wait for 2 or 3 months. They will be filled up with cars. So all in all, this is a solution, and that's why I believe it's going to happen. So I talked about amazing technology that will enable this new type of air vehicle, and why it is so benefit for all of us. Then you may call me as a snake oil salesman. That sounds so good, and when can we have it? Well, we'll have it, but it's going to take some time because the vehicle itself is an important element of realizing this amazing future. But that alone will not do any good. It'll be sitting in the garage or sitting in the hangar and as a garage queen, and it's not going to reap off any benefit for all of us. So what's really needed to happen is all this ecosystem needs to come together and be developed at the same pace. So infrastructure, we quite talk about vertiport. These vehicles need to take off and land in somewhere in the vicinity of populated areas. So that's new infrastructure. We don't have any. So that's going to take a lot of effort. And also the policy to enable all these policies and new certification method and regulations, all those things need to be either changed, modified, or created. And seamlessly integrate mobility is very important because, again, the name of the game is saving the time and providing the convenience to all of you. So if you have to change the transportation mode like 3 times and every stop that changing transportation mode, if you have to wait 20, 30 minutes, I might as well just drive. I mean, I don't want to go through that hassle. I'm already up to my eyeballs going through a TSA security line at the airport, right? I think you could all agree with that. So the seamlessly integrated mobility is important. And then how do you actually manage all this traffic? Because we're talking, could be thousands of vehicles flying at any given moment above our skies. So these things need to be, like I said, again, developed together at the same pace. So I kind of get, I'm a silly metaphor. I use a lot of silly metaphors. So if you think about playing rugby, you have to scrub them together, right? And march. So we need to do this. And this is why I'm super excited that the City of Miami and Mayor Suarez had that long view and the vision to work with Supernal, the company I'm representing, to develop all this ecosystem together. We will develop a vehicle, but we will work with the City of Miami and Mayor to, again, have these ecosystems be in place when the vehicles are ready. So I just mentioned about collaboration that we are going to do with the City of Miami. Beautiful city, and people, I used to live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I actually come down here. I think Floridians call us snowbirds or some such thing. And we used to come down here to play golf during the dead winter. So the weather is just fantastic in Miami, and I love to come down to Florida. And we would love to offer this new capability, transportation capability. But just imagine the future of our cities. If I give you this scenario, it'll be amazing if we can actually realize this vision. So let's fast forward. Let's say we are time traveling and we are in 2035. So I'm in a self-driving car. I'm not doing anything. And by the way, Hyundai Motor Group, our parent company, is developing self-driving cars, robot taxis and all that. Amazing technologies are being developed in the automotive side as well. So I'm riding this self-driving car, and the car itself is monitoring my bio signals, right? So I'm having a heart attack. I don't want to, but this is a scenario. So I'm having a heart attack, and the car just detected, hey, I'm in trouble. So the car sent that notification to traffic management center, and so the traffic management center start controlling the traffic lights. Car is stopping at a safe place, and also notifying the hospital. So the UAM, that eVTOL, several of them fly to that location, one carrying doctor and nurses, and one carrying life-saving equipment. And several of them come together as a fleet and pick me up, and by the time they land at the hospital, they all have my medical record, so I'm survived. I'm saved. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we live in that kind of world? So UAM is an integral part of that vision, and we can make it happen because technologies are coming along. So we are very excited, and this is our mantra. We know the future because we make it. And I have several good colleagues from Supernal sitting in this room. These are the folks who are actually going to make this happen because they are creating future and we are in control. And so as Mayor Suarez mentioned, let's just do it. I wasn't paid by Nike, but let's just do it. And everything is in place, and we just form alliance and strong long-term partnership, and like that rugby game players, we scrum together and take one step at a time. And this will happen. Believe me, it will happen. I don't know when, but Supernal is trying to launch our air vehicle in 2028. So watch for us and cheer for us, and let's all work together and make this amazing future a reality. Thanks so much.